Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Robbins, and welcome to Life, Death, and the Space Between podcast. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and medium, and here we discuss life, death, consciousness, and what it all means. Today, I have Cindy Luffred back on the show. Cindy is the founder of Revealing Soul and a spiritual medium. Cindy brings the energy of the soul into view using a grounded and relatable approach through intuition and channeling. Using aura photography and her intuitive mediumship abilities, she brings clarity, guidance, and insight to her clients to help them live more fulfilling and purposeful lives. Cindy has over 17 years of experience honing her intuitive abilities, and she started Revealing Soul in 2017. And today I have Cindy back on the show to do my aura reading, which I'm super excited about and super nervous about simultaneously because I guess as I said in the last podcast, if you listen, the aura doesn't lie. So now you people will all know my truths. So welcome back, Cindy.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So I will sort of let you kind of explain our process today because we actually have two pictures that we're looking at. And I'll just kind of let you take it from here.
Yeah, and to help the listeners visualize, the camera that I use is an aura camera that sits on a tripod stand, and you sit across from it on a bench, or it can be a chair when I do pop-ups sometimes, and it has two hand plates that you place each palm on one hand plate. That then reads your energy, your biometric feedback signals, and sends it to the camera to overlay an image of your energy on a Polaroid photo. So we did that. We actually did it twice. And in front of me now I have the two aura photos that we're going to read and discuss.
And these will all, maybe we'll do a little Insta story and we can show how we set all this up. And then my aura photos will be on Instagram, so you can look at them while you're listening to the podcast today.
Oh, I like that. That's a great idea. So we took two today because when you walked into my studio today, I just had you sit down and take it, and you had just been on the phone and, just got here, and then we were setting everything up. And so we took the first one. It's actually similar to one I did about 6 weeks ago with you. And it's, again, there's no bad colors, as I said in the last podcast, but there's a lot more murkiness or a little bit like deeper tones to it than the second one. So the way I break up an aura photo, so I'll start with this and then dive into the two different ones and the difference between them. So the way I break up an aura photo is your head's in the center, so that's what's on your mind or what's worrying you. Below that would be what's on your heart or your emotional body. The left side of the photo is what you're working on currently or in the past few months. The right side of the photo is what you're attracting in the next 3 to 6 months is typically what I can see in an aura photo. And that's by law of attraction, your thoughts and your actions now are impacting your future reality. So that's what's on the right side of the photo. And then the top third of the photo is what the universe is bringing and working with you on, sort of like your themes for the year for the next 9 months. It's a little bit further out. So your first photo, it's mostly blues, a little bit of purple and pink in there. Blue is all about purpose, career, fulfillment. It's something you've probably been focusing on lately, is really focusing on your business, your clients. And I can see you're worried about something right now. So because it's really the darkest part in the whole photo is right over your head, which indicates just some stress or some fears or some worries going on. There's a little bit of purple in there too. So it's just showing me that you're maybe not sleeping as well, or you're maybe your third eye was blocked a little bit when you walked in, or just haven't been meditating today, maybe necessarily, but it just was looking a little bit dark. This is also, there's a lot of dark blue at the top, which is in that space, it's really encouraging you to stay connected to yourself and your true purpose and what you're meant to be doing here. This is a theme for the year. So it's all about, this is a year that's high up. So it's what's your purpose? What are you meant to be doing? And are you on your path, essentially, in this lifetime? Mm-hmm. And it's not that you're not. It's just saying this year for your theme, and that's what you're working on, okay? And then there's some electric blues, some light bright blues, which is about you have an idea or something that you're wanting to bring forward or bring into the world, but you're getting caught up in the how. So it's what are the next steps? How do you bring this forward? And then a lot of the colors in the background are light blue, which is throat chakra. And so it's encouraging you to use your voice to communicate more of what you need and want. And it's also encouraging you to use your voice to help advocate for others and help heal others, which you do in your work, but it's asking you to do a little more because it's a little muted. So it's...
Watch out, people. More podcasts coming your way.
Exactly. And then coming in for you in the next 3 to 6 months, and this is all in the first photo, is a lot of light purple or violet, which is go easy on yourself, go gentle on yourself. It's also got white with it, which means you're divinely guided right now. You're right where you're meant to be, doing what you're meant to be doing. It's just saying, just keep going on this path. And there's a little bit of like a rainbow, I call it like the edge of a rainbow starting. That's just basically saying, in the next 3 to 6 months, you'll be giving birth to something new, not a child, but just giving birth to something.
God, no child, no more children.
No. But any new part of your business, or maybe expanding in the podcast or what have you, is giving birth. Like I literally say, like my business is like I gave birth to it. Like it was a lot. So that's where I just say, in a good way, it's giving birth to something new. So it's like the beginning stages are just starting to take form in your life, and it's bringing it forward.
Are all people divinely guided? I mean, couldn't you say all people are that? Or some people have more white than others, like more in touch? Or how does that work with their guides?
Great question. I do believe everyone is divinely guided. I believe we're all here for a purpose, I believe in a higher power, whether you want to call it God or the universe or what have you, whatever word you want to give it. I believe that we're divinely guided by a higher purpose. When I see it in someone's aura photo, it means it's a big like blueprint item, meaning that it's something in your life that you agreed. I believe we have contracts ahead of time before we come into a lifetime. And there's certain blueprint items that you agree to do. Like these are not just experiences, these are like big blueprint items that you agree to work on. When I start seeing white coming in, it means there's something, one of those blueprint items is coming to the surface. It means you're really like meant to be working on this right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
So everyone's divinely guided. Just sometimes I see, again, whatever colors you're working with are going to show up most prominently in your photo at any given time. Okay. So whatever this is that's coming in for you is something that like it's a big blueprint item for yourself that your soul agreed to go through in this lifetime. Okay. So that's why I say it's like divinely guided. It's like your soul's purpose plan, like kind of agreed to do this. Okay. But it's saying go easy with yourself with this. Go gentle with yourself. There's a little magenta, which is healing. You're probably also meant to continue to help heal others with whatever this is. So it's just saying be easy, be gentle on yourself. You're not going to figure it out overnight.
Yeah, well, I've been trying for a while. So if anybody has any ideas, help me out.
Yeah, and then lastly in here, it's just a little murky overall, which is just saying maybe been a little stressed walking in the door. I mean, if you were just on a phone call with someone, or if you were coming from like work or a stressful thing or whatever, in traffic sometimes, I mean, I can see a little bit of like stress going on in like your energy field just in like your day-to-day life right now. So that's just kind of why it's a little bit denser. Mm-hmm. Again, this is a snapshot, so it's not saying it's a permanent thing. It's just what I was seeing when you walked in.
Right. And we clearly know it's not permanent because if we compared this one to the one we did just a few minutes after.
Yes. So I was feeling like as we were recording the first podcast, I was like, I just feel like we need to retake it. Like you've had time to settle in. We've been chatting. You're talking about the things that you love. We're talking about auras and all the other topics on the podcast. And I was like, I just feel like she needs to retake it. So we had you meditate for like a minute or two, maybe 3 minutes tops. I cleansed your aura. I took some sage spray that I have and just did a quick energy cleansing on you. Just remove any negativity that may have been clinging to you. You meditated, and then we took a second photo. And
I never have any negativity clinging to me.
I wish I could say the same. It's
Me too.
Well, being an empath, on that note, being an empath, which you are, I am as well, a lot of people are, it just naturally, negative energy is just attracted. And so you have to have good boundaries set up through meditation or through setting intentions in the morning or surrounding yourself in a white light.
Or cleansing, doing any sort of cleansing.
Exactly.
Right.
So if you forget or aren't on a regular pattern with that, yeah, negative energy just clings to light. It's just what it does. But it's easy to remove. It's, it's simple to just putting in some practices, daily practices, like we just talked about, cleansing, meditation.
When my kids are going like downhill fast, I'm like, guys, you need some positivity spray. Little spritz, turn them around, send them on their way.
Exactly. Okay, so your second photo is, it's completely different, very bright. So So this photo is, I'm going to read it as, this is probably your natural state. So I believe everyone has like a natural, energetic, like just colors that are simply always going to show up in your photo, which for you, it's like blues and pinks and purples, which you had that mostly in your other photo, but instead of being mostly blue, now this is mostly magenta and pink and purple. So it's going up the chakras. It's getting you, raising you to like a fifth dimensional energy, a higher energy. This, I think, is more of your natural state because when you were meditating, you connected into yourself. And then this is the photo we took. So the other one is, it's not bad. It's just like when you're in your running around state, day-to-day stress, this is what you're showing up as.
Right. And that makes sense because just to give people like a little bit of background, I walked in, I was on the phone with my husband talking about something we're dealing with, and kind of came in a little bit like irritated and angry, and then set up the podcast and took the photo, and then Cindy and I started talking for a little bit and then recorded the first podcast. And then I did the meditation and she took the picture. So I think that, you know, you're certainly onto something here. Like the state that I came in with was more of probably, as a psychologist, I would say, a hyper aroused state.
There you go. Yes. Which is not, it's not how you naturally, it's just how you have to sometimes show up in the world. Like it's just like with all the things that you have coming at you with kids and a husband and job and everything else and career. And like, that's just how you sometimes get. So everyone's like that.
But I think it speaks to, if you guys take a look at it, even just in a couple of moments, and I haven't heard your interpretation of this aura, but what the power of calming your mind does to you. Because it really is, when you guys look at it, it's like remarkable differences. And it was maybe 30 minutes apart. And 3 minutes of sitting quietly and just breathing and tuning in and recognizing like it wasn't this beautiful, peaceful experience. The anger that I was feeling when I walked in still came up. I just sort of recognized it and breathed through it and kept bringing myself back to that place of breathing and trying to center myself. So I'll let you take it from here as to how then I showed up in the world.
Yeah. And just on a quick note on a meditation, because I tell a lot of my clients, I can see, like, did you meditate this morning?
I did. I did a healing. My back is really hurt right now, so I did a specific healing meditation for my back.
Okay, for your back. Okay.
It wasn't like just a regular, like some mornings I'll just do a meditation to center myself. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for, but this morning was specific to a healing.
Well, a lot of my clients, I tell a first step on any journey into this is like start meditating. And people, I think there's some kind of a negative connotation that it has to be a 20-minute thing and it has to be this big line. And there's no anger is ever going. Your mind has to be quiet the whole time. That's not how it is.
Right.
Just even making the effort and just taking that time to connect in with and have a conversation with your soul. That's what meditation is. And that's what's so important. We are constantly worrying about our mental self, worrying about our physical selves, and hopefully sometimes emotional as well. People forget about the soul, because I believe there's 4 bodies of consciousness: your mental, your emotional, your physical, and your spiritual or soul body. Mm-hmm. And so meditation allows you to have time with that and converse with that. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, in your case, it caused your whole energy aura to shift. So the biggest difference here, speaking of meditation, is I think around your head and like your physical yourself. So the center of the photo, I mean, there's a lot of changes, but that's a big one. You now have more purple, and there's actually a purple undertone to almost your entire photo. Purple is all about, and violet is all about connection to spirit, connection to the other side, and connection to your soul. When I see it show up in around people's heads or around their bodies, it means that you might have vivid dreams, or you might notice a lot of synchronicities in your life, or you notice a lot of signs and symbols around you. You're constantly in communication, not just in meditation, but verbally too, like or out loud or in your mind, communicating with the other side. So when I start seeing more of that in someone's aura, it means they're doing it more often and like really asking for help, because law of free will, you have to ask for them to step in, or ask for a sign, or ask for, just some guidance for them to step in and really show it in a big way. They're always guiding you and helping you. Mm-hmm. Most people aren't necessarily aware of it. And when you ask, then you start becoming more aware and open to what's around you. So you have a lot of purple. So I can tell you're doing this not just in this meditation, but you must be doing it more in your day-to-day life as well, which is great. You still have a little bit of violet next to you, which is just saying go easy on yourself, go gentle on yourself. But now the rainbow that was like just starting is now like almost completely like a rainbow arc above your head.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, so see how the rainbow started here. When you guys look at the photo, you'll see like this little like pinkish red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and it's just like these little dots on one side of the photo. In the second photo, it's almost like an entire rainbow arch above her head, starting in the same place, but it's completely like above her. Rainbows mean new beginnings. It means, like I said, giving birth to something new. But when I see it above someone's head, it means like it's the arrival. It's there. You're using it. It's happening. And it also basically means like a shift, transition, change, like something new is happening in your life or something big is coming in. Okay. With yours, there's a lot of magenta.
Stay tuned, people.
With yours, there's also a lot of magenta, which is healing. So I think your purpose in this lifetime is to help heal others. I think part of the ways that you're doing it is not just in your like work with clients, but on the podcast too. So everyone listening is gaining healing from listening to your podcast and the information that you're sharing. So we were doing the podcast in between, and I think this kind of awakened and heightened that piece in your aura, which is you're healing others through the podcast. That's what some of this rainbow arch above your head is. I still say you have some idea, like this blue above your head, this electric blue, of something that you're planning or you're wanting to give birth to or wanting to start, but you're just getting caught up in the how. Like, well, how do I say this, or how do I start this, or, you know, who knows? Maybe it's a book, or it could be something, I don't know. But this is something that you're thinking about doing, you're just getting caught up in the how.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate, because I definitely want to figure out, I love the podcast and I'd like to do more. So I don't know, speaking engagements or just a way to kind of interact as well with people in like a bigger setting.
I could see you doing this potentially like having like more face-to-face, because I think that's part of it too that helped, like once we were like able to sit and connect in. I could see you doing face-to-face podcasts or interviews and having like an audience of people, and then having them not only listen live, but also then have it maybe recorded, you know, for someone to listen later on as well. But I could see you taking it on the road, kind of doing speaking, and maybe even doing some healing work where, you know, everyone gets an aura photo, or everyone's getting like some Reiki or whatever you end up like having on in the future. Okay. You also have healing coming in on your left side, so I can see it very clearly in the second photo.
Is it the left side when you're looking at the picture, or my left side?
It's your left side, your physical left side of your body.
So which is the right side of the picture?
Correct, because you're facing the camera. So see all the deep magentas in the second photo? That's all the healing coming in for, I think you said the left side of your back. Or your back.
I need more healing.
Well, it's coming in. Were you meditating on that? Were you asking for more of that when you were just sitting down now to meditate on it?
No, but I was at acupuncture earlier, so I'm trying everything I can.
Yeah, so a lot of my work too is I basically just have to tell people to get out of your own way, like surrender. You asked for healing and help in acupuncture, now like take a break, take a rest, quiet your mind, and like allow it to integrate. That's kind of what's happening here. Is on the second photo, you were able to like quiet your mind and everything else in your physical body, and the healing is starting to integrate in, which is amazing. Okay. Also, your heart chakra is hugely bright in this photo. Tons of pinks. I mean, it's all pinks. It's like different shades of pink. But this is your heart shining and just loving what you're doing, which is speaking on the podcast. And I think sharing this information and learning more about like your journey too.
And the heart chakra is where you see it in the photo, not necessarily like the green that's associated with the heart chakra.
Correct. It's where I see it, the placement in the photo. Okay. Because it's right over your heart. So that's where I envision the heart chakra. But pink is love, happiness, joy, and true purpose. Feeling like truly happy with where you're at and what you're doing.
See, people, my soul is not white.
The other colors, so there's a lot of white at the top. The other color that's at the top is, I have to just say, it's a light baby pink, which typically indicates, and it's at the top, so it typically indicates a new relationship or a new soul coming in that's going to be influential in your life in some way. Okay, I'm not saying you're getting like meeting someone new with your partner. You have lots of relationships in your life, right? So it could be, you know, a new mentor. It could be a new business, you know, person podcast thing. It could be a new like partner or someone you travel on the road with or something like that, or someone who's going to be influential in your life that's going to help guide you with this idea or these new things that you're planning on doing. Because there's a lot of light baby pink, which is all about a new relationship. Someone who's an old soul, you're going to feel like you've known forever, but you are just met or just starting to like become closer with. Okay. It's high up. So, you know, it's all around there. So it's all about like old soul energy and bringing it in. Okay. And lastly, yeah, you have on both sides now, it's just giving birth to something new. This is all about new beginnings, happiness, joy, love. There's a lot of healing and a lot of purple, which is spirit, divinely guided. And then using your voice, I think I said this in the other one, but using your voice to communicate like more of what you need and want. And then there's more long-term thinking in here. So what are the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years going to look like for you? Like where are you going to be? What are you going to be doing? What your business look like all that stuff.
And it sounds like a lot of this is around the development of business versus personal stuff.
This is what I'm picking up energetically.
Okay.
It feels like I'd say your personal life, it looks like it's going pretty well. I mean, obviously you probably worry about your kids and stuff and your husband. I mean, who doesn't? But this really feels more like purpose driven because there's so much blue in the first one is what I'm kind of going off of for that. That's all about purpose and career.
And what is this white, like the white at the top that looks like a little fuzz?
It's spirits or guides around you, and you were communicating with them or drawing them in when you were meditating. So it's you communicating with your guides. Okay. And this is the theme for you for the year is doing more of that because that's where it's showing up.
Stop it.
I'm just saying. I mean, because you're super intuitive, you're an empath, you can pick on people's energy really easily. You are an old soul. You are someone who's working in the fifth dimension. You're someone who I think you are a medium, you can communicate, and it's about sharing those gifts and sharing more of that with the world. Lord knows we need
so fascinating. So anything that people like normally come in and ask when they've seen their photo?
Usually I ask about relationships if they're like, I get a lot of people who are in their 20s and 30s. So asking about relationships. Some people will ask if I see anyone in the photo or pick up on anyone in the photo. So for your first one, your grandmother's with you very strongly. And the second one, you actually have a male energy. So either a grandfather or someone who is like a father, I'm hearing them say, who's with you in your photo and guiding you with this. It's definitely a male energy in the second one. They're kind of in the first one too, but it's someone who's coming through really strongly. Do you have a grandfather energy that's passed? And I almost said Robert, but that's my grandfather.
Yeah, I do have a grandfather.
Okay.
My grandfather who passed.
I'm hearing a B initial. Is it first, middle, last name with B? It's hearing B. Okay. It could be a nickname too, like Bob. Anyways, they're standing with you and working with you and helping with this. Okay. And it's someone who's very proud of where you're at and what you're doing. So it feels like grandfather energy. Because they never understood this when they were there. They never got to like experience the spiritual side or the emotional side of really bringing this stuff forward. And I felt like they kind of missed out on like either owning their own business or doing their own thing. And they're super proud of you and guiding you in what you're doing.
Gotcha.
And this feels like, again, this is a grandfather. Is your dad's dad passed?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's him. Did you know him in this lifetime? Mm-hmm. Are you close to him? Okay. Mm-hmm. It's him. And I keep seeing birds for you, like cardinals, birds, robins. Do you see birds around as like a sign for you lately?
Not really.
Okay. And a phoenix. You need to look up phoenix. I was hearing that earlier when I was meditating for you. Look up like a phoenix and the spiritual meaning of it. So I think you had another podcast or person recently who said a lot of times you'll get symbols and things and you have to Google like, I don't know everything. Like I don't always, but for you it's like phoenix, which is like rising from the ashes and like starting fresh and all that. So it's kind of like.
You have to decode it a little bit.
You have to decode it, but I'm also hearing for you like you think your work that you've done your work and that you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And I'm hearing like, actually it's like, there's a whole other, like, I don't want to say lifetime, but a whole other like thing you're giving birth to. And it's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's like a whole new beginning, new chapter for you. It's about to start. So. Okay. You may think you're.
No, I don't. Okay. We were just talking a little before about how, the importance of me kind of continuing to work on my intuitive abilities and get more comfortable.
You don't have a name Bobby or like Bobbett or something like that with a last name with like, it doesn't have to be your grandfather. Mm-mm. I keep hearing that name. Okay. Mm-mm. Okay. It's
I'll
hard.
think about it though.
Yeah, don't make it fit. I always say don't make it fit, but it could be someone you're going to meet or something you're going to hear or who knows. It's like a nickname, like Bobbit, Bobby, something like that. So, okay. Other questions people sometimes ask me about are like jobs, or if they see them moving. Like if people are going through transitions in their life or big things like that, they'll ask me if they see that. I don't see you moving. I don't know if you're playing, but I don't see you moving at all. No. So that stuff's not in there. And then they'll ask about like if there's surgeries and things like that. I'm not a doctor, so I always say consult a medical profession. But if someone does say something, or I see something in the photo, I'll say like you should get a second opinion, or so I'm picking up. For you, it just feels like it needs to be allowing things to heal. Don't get out of your own way. Like surrendering to the universe and kind of like surrendering and just letting things heal. Get out of your own way.
Yeah, I'm not so good at that.
Okay,
I like to control.
Okay. And that's why your first photo looked the way it did, and your second photo looks the way it does.
And my photo 20 years ago would have been like probably like fire engine red. So we've made a lot of progress.
Yes. And same with me. Mine was all red for like 15 years of my life until I started this business, and now it's all pinks and blues and purples as well, because I'm truly like living my purpose and doing what I believe I'm meant to be doing for now. So we're always growing and changing.
Well, if people are interested in having their aura photo taken or reaching out to you for a reading, can you let the listeners know where they can find you? And this will also be on my show notes, where you can find Cindy. But go ahead and tell us.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. My handle is @revealingsoul, all one word. And also my website, which is www.revealingsoul.com. And you can book a session with me there, or you can find me for a pop-up event. I often pop up with my aura camera at different locations around Chicago, and soon to be traveling to other big cities like Vegas and LA. So yeah, you can find me there and set up an appointment, and we can get your aura done.
Well, thank you so much,
You're
Cindy.
so welcome.
And I'll look forward to my next one to see what's to come. For those of you who are just listening, just a quick addendum to this podcast is Cindy and I were talking after trying to solve the mystery of the Bob William debacle. And afterwards, she had mentioned that she was hearing Bob and Bill or William. And if any of you guys listened to my premonition podcast or saw my Insta story on premonitions, I had a premonition a couple weeks ago for a friend of mine about someone who was named Bob, who actually turned out to be not named Bob, who was named Bill, but everything else I had described in the premonition was accurate. And I never have premonitions. It was my first one. And so Cindy said, what's going on with Bob and William and who's Bob and Bill? And I said, oh, that you might be referring to this premonition I had. And sure enough, that's exactly what it was. So just wanted to give some clarity to who this Bob character that was showing up is that it wasn't really Bob. It was actually a message from my guides that this path is definitely the right path for me, and they are watching and helping me and guiding me, and I need to continue to trust myself. So there you have it. Like what you heard today and want to hear more? Curious about what comes next and what it all means? You can subscribe on iTunes. Just go to podcasts and find Life, Death, and the Space Between and hit subscribe. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dr. Amy Robbins. Ask me any questions you might have, let me know what else you'd love to hear about, or just share your story. I can't wait to hear from you.